Last time, we discussed our perils and pursuits of crossing the United States and then the Atlantic Ocean to get to Iceland. And immediately upon arrival, Iceland was put on display from the air, and the Reykjavík Peninsula is like no other place on Earth. And the volcano near Grindavik was spectacular. We also listed out what to be aware of for traveling domestic flights in the United States during 2021, and the current state of flying internationally to Iceland from the United States. But once you get to Iceland, it is not a free-for-all, and we did our best to be good travelers by following the rules.
This is amazing!
Yeah.
I can see all of Snæfellsnes Peninsula, which I didn't get to see the first time.
Crazy.
I don't understand why you aren't more excited about this.
I'm just a little bit tired.
You slept on the plane! I haven't gotten to sleep at all! You can't be asleep yet!
Ah!
You are remembering it wrong.
The struggle to behave is real when you land in a beautiful new country on a perfectly lovely day for sightseeing, and when you have to follow quarantine rules, such as 1. No sightseeing or going to touristic places. 2. No going to the volcano. 3. No going for a drive. That's right. You can't even go for a drive. Now, because we were aware of the rules ahead of time, we were able to ask some questions on covid.is, a great resource when visiting Iceland during the COVID pandemic. For one, our Airbnb would not be ready right away in the morning, so we asked if we could hunker down near the airport for a bit while we waited. A resource with covid.is said yes, as long as we weren't close to other people, we could hang out near the airport for a while. So we set up camp in a little parking area outside the airport. It was a perfect place to arrange our belongings and set up our car situation for charging and recording. This small lot was also a nice spot to get an idea of just how often the volcano was erupting at the time. We would see the plumes of smoke rise up every few minutes, but no lava. It wasn't that explosive at that time. The parking lot also includes one of the more, I'll call, famous signs. It's the no human waste sign. And it's sad that it exists, but here we are. Iceland is a vast and open country. You can possibly spend a full day without seeing a bathroom, depending on where you are. So be considerate of those who will come behind you. Once it was close enough to our check-in time, we made our way to Reykjavík and our Airbnb on Laugavegur Street. We had a lovely apartment above a flower shop to stay for our first 2 nights in Iceland, in a perfect place to tour the town and its iconic sights, all within walking distance. But first, we had a waiting game. We couldn't leave the apartment until our COVID results were in. Then, 6 hours after arriving in country, our results were in. Negative. And the whole of Iceland was ours to discover. So first things first, go to the bonus. We had to get some groceries and a meal because our takeout options were basically pizza and pizza. We weren't in the mood for Domino's. We were in the mood for something more Icelandic. So we had plattfisker, a creamy fish casserole, and it tastes exactly like you'd expect. After our meal, Bethany had felt secure in our day's travel, lodging, and food, and she finally felt relaxed enough to crash. I wanted to make sure to set my new day-night cycle, so I pushed myself out of the apartment to do what I'm calling the Welcome to Reykjavík tour around the town. I tried to hit up all the sites. The Windy Park, the Technical School, Iceland's largest shopping mall. It was seen, but my evidence was lost. The Relaxing Rocks, plants, bushes, and trees, 12 tona, and hotels. But sadly, I wasn't able to find City Taxi. If you have not seen that video, please go check it out. It is very funny, and I highly recommend it. After that tour, I crossed over to Sólfar, or the Sun Voyager, just one of the wonderful pieces of art found all over Iceland. From there, I continued down the road to the Harpa concert hall. On foot, I was able to walk close to the building to enjoy the artistry of the glass facade, but I saved going inside for when I was joined with Bethany. Next up was the long haul from the Harpa all the way to the old harbor to see Þúfa and taking in some sights along the way. I read that this particular art installation isn't worth the hike from a good number of Google reviews, but I went anyway, trusting that what I would see along the way would make it worth it for me. And it did. Even this Eve Online monument. I mean, it's not my thing, but hey, there it is, right next to the Maritime Museum. Before long, I was at Þúfa and had it to myself for enough time to take pictures and video without disturbing anyone else's enjoyment of the installation. The views are worth the visit, and maybe you'll get to see some whales in the harbor. I did not see any whales. You sign, you lied to me! Taking a look back at my phone, I realized it was time to return to the apartment and connect up with Bethany. Then together we had dinner at the Lebowski bar before we both literally tripped across town to Hallgrímskirkja and Sólfar for some photos. We are tourists after all. On the way back to our apartment, we also bumped into the Happy Drunk American, also staying nearby. And of course, he was offering everyone shots. And with that, we closed our first day in Iceland. And from our open windows in the apartment, we could hear the drunk guy in the street telling everyone he loves them. And inside our apartment, Bethany queued up The Office on Netflix, exclaiming eloquently,
Suck it, Peacock.
Coming up next time, we'll cover our nearly solitary Golden Circle adventure. Do it anyway. Make sure to come back for more Iceland 2021.